Ariana is going to be taken away. The Protect the Cogmore comp isn't there, but the Protect the X comp is certainly still available here for the ROX Tigers. Could still get their hands on the likes of Jinx, things like Tristana in the late game with the Draw Bead, giving her that extra range. No Caitlyn to be seen, and Elise also going to be taken away from Bless. Once again, ROX Tigers aiming for that ban twice in a row. Even on the red side, there's no blobs being banned just yet, Papa Smithy.
It's true. Cho'Gath also available. Like you say, could just be taken by BBQ. Probably second round. Probably wouldn't take it at first pick. Gonna ban away the Rakan as well. They're on a fishing expedition. So appropriate given what we talked about in game one. Lot available. We'll see what Tigers make out here.
Would you call them fishes?
No. Damn it. It's the one thing I wouldn't call.
I was trying to get that to be a thing.
ROX Tigers deciding which large pick to give up. Cho'Gath, Maokai, Zac, Kalista. Will not be giving up the Zac. They learned from KT Rolster's mistake.
That's a good idea. Kalista looking like the obvious lock in there. Ghost and Sangin, actually both of them having relative success on the Kalista based on their team score lines at the moment. Sangin, of course, the more experienced player in solo queue.
A lot of Kalista this season. Was waiting for it when I saw his win rate over 90 games was 78% or so. Been denied away from him here. Probably will just opt into the Xayah. Could take Tristana as well. Those are the two options available. Feels like the hyperest of hyper carries of those left available is what he chooses. Apologies to Jinx.
Yeah, I love seeing Jinx pop Smithy, but it always makes me sad that Def
Thresh would be a nice denial pick, and also a great pick for Key.
That's true. Key got what we thought was an MVP-worthy performance, but it's going to be Mighty Bear picking up the Gragas, and it feels like whenever people grab the Xayah, the Gragas goes up in priority so much more.
Disengage against a Kalista, or potentially engage, I think, is always a premium to help Xayah out with her target selecting, so no problems with this pick, and I see Totoro jump on the Alistar to combo with that Kalista.
And there it is.
I, for one, welcome our new Alistar meta.
I know you do. You've told me about your solo queue escapades.
At least I play him as a tank. There were times where that wasn't true.
The Nash's Tooth Lich Bane.
The Spawn favorite.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was Nash's Tooth, but he definitely loves his AP Alistar. Jarvan actually going to be opted in for quite early here. Could be for Bless, could be for Crazy. Bless was one of the first to try that one in the jungle.
Crazy's had his most success on pressure picks, even though we think of him as a tank role player. Ro decides he wants to play Corki, can ban away some of the more struggling matches against Tempt.
Also picking it away from Tempt as well, who is a very notable Corki player. Now the Cassiopeia going to go away.
Could ban Corki, so he could ban Cassio and Taliyah here if he so wishes.
Yep. Seeing sort of Taliyah being more of a neutralizing matchup, but could even opt in for something like a Lucian ban.
Such a big Tempt champion. They already have a rotational engage comp that Taliyah makes a lot of sense macro-wise, even if, as you say, the laning matchup's not a highlight.
Well, Cho'Gath going to be taken away. Shy, of course, has played that champion. The dude's been around for a heck of a long time. But counting something on his fingers, how many champions do I play? And then he gave up, and he was like, oh, I've sort of played all of them. I can't be bothered even thinking about this.
Did he get past Trundle? That's definitely one he plays.
Well, Rumble going to be the second ban here, so Tiger's leaving the Taliyah up.
What I would actually like to see is just selecting, leaving top lane as a counter pick and taking the Trundle. If you do see a Maokai or a reliable tank be locked in for BBQ.
Not going to. Going to be banned away here. Double super tanks taken off the rift by BBQ.
Crazy wants a carry matchup, and Shy probably wants to avoid that. So let's see what he'll settle on. It'll also just be the support pick. Thresh and Braum would make the most sense.
I feel like Key, if he doesn't pick Thresh here, I'll be pretty upset. Braum does make some sense, though.
Thresh doesn't really have a happy timing into Alistar. When it comes to hook targets in lane, the Kalista is already going to be fleet of foot, and the Alistar happy to be hooked most of the time. Are we just going to have a knock-up party on the side of BBQ? They've already got 3.
Ah, Shy's famous Yasuo to be picked up here. If only. Jace. Gonna be the option here for Crazy. Okay, well, Tempt possibly could go for that one as well, but no, he's looking at LeBlanc. All-out aggression from BBQ if they are going to lock this in.
It's been a pick that he's played a lot, the LeBlanc, but with no success, so that's why I think the Taliyah was the more likely choice. They've settled on the Jace. Crazy on carry champions has been 3-1 on the Jace this season, but does kind of move away from the intent of the Taliyah draft. Now we're waiting on Shy to pick up the pieces. What does he want to take into Jace?
I just want Singed, Bob's maybe.
I want Malphite. Or Singed. Well, I mean, Singed into Jace is really bad.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's not what this is about. Okay, Renekton going to be the option here, so Shy opting in for a matchup that can be difficult. But it was Khan's Jace that was able to deal with the likes of Renekton's towards the top side of the map.
And it was Shy's Renekton, which has probably been his most impressive performing champion in 2017. Had some good games on it in spring in particular. It's been a decent pick for him in summer. Lane trades on the Renekton, another one of these old school top laners, just fine from the side of Shy. But this is a very different ROX Tigers, both in identity and lineup.
Yeah.
3 substitutions, Crow's professional debut. A lot of variables means that maybe BBQ look at this as a chance to force game 3.
And it's only the bottom lane that's the same, so the majority of the map is now different players. You could almost feel like it's just, you know, a different team with a sub of one lane. So exciting to see what this new iteration of the ROX Tigers is going to be able to do up against BBQ. Whether BBQ is just going to be able to stick to what they're good at, throw the aggression forward, and now that they don't have to deal with this protect the Kog'Maw composition, that they can find success, especially with Ghost now on the coveted Kalista pick.
If BBQ can keep it a short game, they have a lot of tools at 1-2 items with the Jace lane power and also the roam from the Taliyah. They want to keep it short, and ROX Tigers again want to lengthen the game.
Yeah, we'll see whether they can do it. ROX Tigers could last time. See whether BBQ is going to be able to put the nails in and bring us to a game number 3. Let's hit the riff. All right. The real fans staying for our second series of the night. The passion you can hear. Not exactly the most people.
It's us! Achilles.
And Achilles too. That's adorable. Thanks, guys. That is the first time I've had fans in the audience.
There you go.
Oh.
They love the Papatless enough to not know our nickname, but otherwise appreciate us.
But that means that they just love us for who we are.
That's a sick tiger.
That is an incredible tiger. I got so much more impressed when I realized that these aren't things that these people bring to the show. They do it right here. It's like speed art. It's amazing.
There was a bit of downtime in that first series to do some art, it turns out.
That's true.
We were painting some art ourselves.
We were.
Well, it wasn't great.
It wasn't. No. I think we've got to stick to League of Legends commentary.
Totoro, worryingly, hasn't used the cowbell in the first minute and 30 seconds.
What the heck? He's also opted for the different chroma. I do like the blue mohawk, though. Okay. Well, as slow as this early game could be, it is going to now move towards the laning phase as the minions are going to crash. Leashes on all sides. Ghost actually holding onto that Ren for a scary amount of time. Bless is going to move towards blue buff potentially. We'll see where he actually decides to go. Skips the Raptors, though.
No Galio to give Bless a super leash. Taliyah can actually do some decent leashing herself, but doesn't want to lose out on the level 2 push to the Corki.
Speaking of push, crazy. Bullying Shy right now using that range advantage.
Be at least 2 pushing lanes and potentially even 3 for BBQ. If you can push super hard push at this point, it will reset and be in great position for a potential Jarvan gank, because speak of the devil.
Yeah. Tempt actually going to move over. They're looking for a gank onto Mighty Bear. There he goes. Bless just gets himself right in amongst it. And Tempt gets the forward position. Flash immediately exhausted by Mighty Bear.
I want to zone him away from Smite. Mighty Bear considers his options and will back away. 2 pushing lanes into an instant invade. Smart play from BBQ.
Yeah. And Crow looked like he had no idea what to do. Could have potentially moved on over there as well, but now Bless setting himself up to continue this pressure as Shy. He's being bullied. This gank feels like it's set up by BBQ to be a success. Accelerated Shock Blast not going to find the mark. That could have been the damage necessary to make them feel confident about a dive.
Pops his potion pretty early. Gives him a little bit of a chance to survive a turret dive. But you spoke about the dive, Atlas.
That's an opportunity. He knows exactly what's going on. Good flash comes in. It's crazy. Can't tank the turret for too long, but I feel like they may just come back for more. There's no flash now, as they're still just sitting underneath this turret. Shy has to be so careful, but they're not actually pulling the trigger just yet. They're going to run out of minions. No flag and drag, so the CC limited. And it was just a 2 versus 1 for a moment underneath the turret. Shy saw it, collected some minions, and is going to go home.
I mean, the moment you hit level 3, you're so much more confident with the higher base stats. He also had fairly high rage, so he was able to just get a lot of sustain even off the minion line, not getting any out of champions, and nobody to turn onto him. So crazy shares experience there. As bot lane, we see a bit of an engage.
Yeah, cute little headbutt pulverized, but Sungyun getting stunned there by
Who's
Totoro.
here?
Yeah, Ghost. He's in trouble, does have the flash, but Mighty Bear just waits for him to use it. Barrel comes in, and that's going to be first blood for the ROX Tigers. Totoro, they're actually looking for more. Sungyun might get delivered a kill, but the Blade Caller not going to quite have the range to be able to pick up the cow, but he has to use his flash to get out. No summoner spells of the safety variety remaining for BBQ.
And Shy the MVP there because he repelled the 2. He empowered Mighty Bear to invade, knowing there was no chance that the jungler would be on that side of the jungle. It was such a great gank angle that, like you say, he could wait so long, Mighty Bear just waited and lapped up the flash when it eventually came. They pick up the kill and first blood, ROX Tigers.
Yeah, it was really nicely played by Mighty Bear. The patience to just hold on to the body slam, understanding that they would have damage if he was going to wait there. Between a rock and a hard place, most certainly.
Bro's been pretty greedy with his potion here.
Yeah, might want to use that one.
Still hasn't used it.
Attempt looking for some unworked ground. Doesn't get the seismic shove as Key's going to turn up. Maybe it was all a bait. The mind games, the crow mind games there in mid lane.
There was some intel originally that Crow will be the starting mid laner for ROX, but quickly Lava took over that spot, even though Lava was a role swap. Crow is a mid lane main himself. And no sight of Crow so far this season at all.
Bear. Okay, Key's going to turn up. There's the body slam as temp. They want to stack this one up. The immediate flash from Key knows that he wants it, and Crow delivered a kill all too easily there in the mid lane. And despite the early aggression from BBQ Olivers, it's the ROX Tigers that are 2-0 up in this particular engagement, and Ghost looks like he can't actually capitalize on the 1 versus 2 on the bot side.
And despite the wholesale change of a lineup, still really smart pathing from Mighty Bear this game. Mighty Bear's not had the best summer season after looking really good in spring when he was added into the roster for the second round robin. Sungwon has been the higher win rate jungler in summer. But on the Gragas and with Key also in the right position, Key has been really good for the past 3 weeks or so, even if ROX hasn't been necessarily succeeding. Good roam plays with the Braum, and like you say, 500 gold is not massive, but given what was drafted, pushing lanes in top lane, mid lane, and potentially even the bot lane, to be ahead in gold compared to where BBQ expected to be at this point is a bigger victory than 500 gold suggests.
Yeah, feels like ROX Tigers would be very happy with the position they are currently in, despite not having the kind of scaling that they had in game number 1. Are we waiting on item spikes here for BBQ Holders? Because they really haven't been able to make anything happen despite us talking about the fact that their composition works better earlier. Does it feel like we need to get first items to be completed? Things like that.
No,
before we have that conversation.
I think it's much more about decision making. The turret dive first attempt was fine, but the overstay while Shy picked up level 3 was a mistake. And ROX just made the better in-fight calls. They made the better adaptations. They read the situation well and punished on the bot side. And so far the punishments from ROX would have allowed them to open up a lead. We already saw, with no other things being considered, that BBQ has the push advantage in top and mid. They push up in bot side as well, but it's a bit of a half-hearted commit, and they don't really have a Jace. They don't have a Jace teleport, and it's also Jace coming in if a teleport ward was up. So right now it feels like BBQ aren't making the percentage plays, whereas ROX Tigers largely are.
Yeah, absolutely no commitment there at all. And I mean, I felt like BBQ had an opportunity with inside track on that blue buff, but he even invested a control ward to try and secure that one. In the end, deciding to opt out. Cute little knockback there from Crazy, but Shy is going to close the gap. That being said, a little bit too much damage out of this guy. There's the stun onto Totoro, who was trying to go aggressive.
No big item purchase though on bot. This is where the one side where the 20 lane matchup does shine through is 20 CS advantage or so for Kalista.
Yep. Cull is done, though, for Sangyun, going for the investment banking opportunity. We like to talk about oh so much. And I've just been really impressed with Shy's ability to just weather the storm. I feel like this is the veteran play at stake. It's like, I've got no pride up here. I'm just going to pick up the farm that I can get, and you can try to be aggressive if you want, but it doesn't matter. I got nothing to prove.
He spent the most of the LCK era, and really 2016, 2017 being a bit of a survivor, as this is going to be harder to survive.
Okay, just as I say that, he decides to go for the Ultraman mode play with the Dominus. Does buy Crow some time with this outer turret, but I don't think that's what he was aiming for. I think he was looking for a 1v1. The caster curse.
Survivor's kill.
Oh dear.
Tigers need all the gold they can get from kills. Only the kill gold is stopping the CS values from being a significant factor. They roam bot side, and the 20 CS lead that was accrued over Sangyun has started to go. Been able to catch up quite largely.
Okay, Crow's going to make his way back to the mid lane, so he tanking an unnecessary turret shot, but it means that 3 versus 2, not enough for a dive here on the side of ROX. Oh, Temp setting himself up to throw some rocks at Crow. Doesn't get the seismic shove, but good reactions there with the Valkyrie. Get him out of that particular skill shot. I feel like there is a lot of discovery on Crow here, as this is the first time that we have seen him.
Yeah, really don't know what to expect. It's kind of hard to evaluate. Corki in particular is pretty non-interactive in lane, throwing out bombs, auto-attacking minions, and backing away.
Yep.
See if there's any use of the package or creative pathing. That's a bit more where the skill might come out.
I feel like package plays are where you judge a Corki player.
I'm all about the Corki package plays.
Package plays. Best kind of play.
You always have that half-second pause when you talk about Corki package. Evaluate your sentence before you say it.
Yeah, it's like, how could this be misconstrued? Oh, pretty easily. Let's go for it. Sort of how my thought process works out.
Or play-by-play caster. Just yell. It'll work out.
Yeah, just try not to yell too much about packages, Papa Smithy. That's my advice if you decide to take up the play-by-play.
Games like this, I think about it.
Gold is entirely even. That 1 kill that BBQ was able to get back.
17 CS lead in tops, not enough, but the kill that went ultimately to the side of Tempt was something. Bot lane is about a 20 CS lead, but the Cull will largely negate that, so with the early game focus comp, no reward really yet for BBQ.
Crazy, despite having a lot of early game items, now with the Bilgewater Cutlass completed as well as the cloth armor, which also works in that regard. But not going to go overly aggressive here against Shy. Knows that Mighty Bear has not been seen on the map. Could certainly be there waiting for a gank. The ward goes down. Bless. Clear that one out immediately. Seismic shove again. Not going to find the Marcus. Crow going aggressive now. Fast bomb going to be avoided. Temp doing well to get out of the way of this Corki.
That's coming through a ward. Could lead to a counter gank coming through here from ROX Tigers. See if Shy can successfully bait this in. Being a bit suspicious at this point.
Yeah. Back. Should be taken here by Bless, but they will know exactly where he is. There's the Dominus that's been popped. The back was cancelled, and now it's a 1v1, but I feel like that's going to work out. There's the flash body slam under the turret there as well as Crazy gets himself out of the way. But here's the turnaround once again. Who was baiting who, Papa Smithy? As that's going to be Mighty Bear immediately eliminated.
Crazy able to make the really good escape there, and Tempt is roaming up as well. Here comes the Talia.
Yeah, doesn't quite have a long enough Weaver's Wall, but explodes him with so much damage out of that threaded volley. BBQ really starting to turn it on. It's over 1,000 gold lead now in an instant.
That's what they needed with this draft. Get the Jace ahead especially. First pick solo for the Jace. A nice bit of gold to push him towards. First item, Play the Ruined King that he's working towards. No real corresponding plays can be made on the bottom side because the jungler died in that exchange in top. Good stuff for BBQ.
Yeah, nicely done. Now getting shoved in towards the bottom side, but they still have that CS advantage. Key having a giggle as he heads home. Totoro Ghost certainly having a fine time, and they haven't been unlocked just yet. It's not often that you talk about bottom lanes being unlocked as a duo, but certainly with the Fate's Call and the Headbutt Pulverize combinations that you can do with this Kallistar combo.
Alistair really gets the best out of his kit when he doesn't have to worry about overextending, and post 6 with a Kalista.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. Either it's the double wombo engage or it's Alistair fishing for an engage and being able to be pulled out. A struggle in more standard lanes as the Alistar, given his melee champion no longer has an on-command heal. Much more situational for that.
But is certainly huge when it does come in. Just a little bit more difficult, like you said. Getting excited about Alistar heals is a fun addition to his kit.
In the late game with the all the shielding and healing bonuses that can come up from items like Ardent Sensor. Can be very big, like you say, Atlas.
Well, Dragon has been pulled out. The ROX Tigers, of course, have that Rift Scuttle vision, so they are able to get themselves over here to make it a potential 50-50, but Crow had been shoved in, and Tempt gets the early move over. It looks like the ROX Tigers just don't want to try and challenge for this whatsoever, opting in for that late game maneuver once again.
You know, in position to answer, like you say. Mighty Bear in particular was pretty shallow in his jungle, so wasn't going to be rotating down. If Shy teleports, with Blade the Ruin King already complete for Crazy, might just lose his turret. Not able to make such a move.
Crazy and Blessed looking to steal away this red buff. Looks like they will be able to do so quite easily, as Mighty Bear wants to capitalize on their position by getting some aggression towards the bottom side. They need to take down the Kalista, but that was a little bit too early there, Key. Just going to get knocked up. Forcing that engage did not work at all by the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, massive Rambo engage from Key, but low percentage chance to work with everything. Need to go for the Kalista, otherwise the Fate's Call would have come out on the Alistar, and they'll clear some vision, but Flash blown for nothing from the side of ROX, although I guess they could say they got Kalista Splash.
Yeah. Trading 1-for-1 on the Flash front. I'd take Braum for Kalista any day of the week, as Bless is going to utilize this in order to take down the Rift Herald. Will be the first tower for the ROX Tigers to be taken on the bottom side. That should even up this gold pretty well. A bit over 1,000 now the lead.
Sungyun close to cashing in his cull. There it is. The big plus 350.
Right. Look at that, now only 1,300 gold lead. Nailed it.
Take what you can get. And, there's so much early game power on the side of BBQ. Was predictable that switching 3 players wouldn't necessarily mean everything would be rosy for the side of ROX. They made some good decisions early game. That time playing around Crazy, and Shy falling twice has slowed down what was largely an even laning phase for Shy and Crazy.
Yeah, you can see Shy actually still building aggressively here with the Black Cleaver opted into first, unless you include the Ninja Tabi completion as part of the item build. So still wanting to do battle with the Jace, but might be difficult unless he gets a lot of help. Crow's doing some work now that his Trinity Force is complete. Package going to be utilized.
Being pretty brazen, which I like to see. Trying to get a solo advantage in mid, but also doing it while his flash is up, and like you say, the package was available. Going to be hard to confirm the last bit of HP from an outer mid lane turret, but at least has it standing and ready to be picked up soon.
Yeah, did actually have members towards the bottom side as well, so relatively safe. Was Crow going for that 1 versus 1. They're stacking up the bells. Mighty Bear's in trouble. Will have to flash as the Weaver's Wall's body slammed out of the way of, but there's the damage onto Tempt. But is it going to be enough? The CC's good! And Ghost is going to grab the kill onto Crow, and Tempt survives.
Yeah, Tempt lives after all of that. Weren't able to take him down after a sliver of health. Teleport cancelled from Crazy. But Shy needs to stay in lane, otherwise he's going to lose significant turret HP. So he probably won't be able to rotate down just yet.
Yeah, Sungyun gets himself in here. Will be able to help clear out this minion wave. So just a kill. But now, oh no, okay.
Had to guess.
Yeah, moves himself where they thought he was. Bit of mind games.
Gameplay there is that if you cask onto the person summoning the Rift Herald, it does interrupt the channel. No Rift Herald comes out. Guess they were in the shallow part of the brush. Smartly was not. Get the turret anyway. Falls low, of course.
Yep, that's the teleport from Crow, actually opting in for the blanking cocky play. And another trail of Christmas trees goes wide.
Crow took his inspiration from Mickey on that teleport. Love letter to the former mid laner of the ROX Tigers. Didn't lead to anything.
I'm into it though. I like that style of play. Feels like a EDG pawn play on his Corki. Battle Corki, melee Corki, as it were.
He does like to play Corki as an assassin, now that you mention it. Speaking of assassins, Crazy does a lot of damage.
Yeah, just looking to beat the heck out of this Crocodile. Does get stunned, so it looks like Shy should be able to make his way out, but oh, okay. Dominus going to be popped. I don't know whether he necessarily needed it. Better to be safe than sorry.
Bit of a walk of shame, dominating and teleporting back to base, though.
Yeah. I'm really big.
He'll stay, even though he has no priority over his topside jungle here. Vargas nowhere near at the Raptors. Want to get greedy for a couple more minion waves, but not to be.
Yeah, Crazy actually going to head back home, so not wanting to press that advantage at all. Like you said, definitely a lot of vision from BBQ to show that he probably could have gone aggressive. As Totoro is going to casually walk out of this one.
And 2 members were not substituted out with Sungyun and Key. And at this point, Tigers have put everything into Sungyun being the carry in the late game. Cole cashed in. Means he's at item parity relatively with Ghost, which is probably the only good news story in the early game for the Tigers.
Difficult thing about it is, though, is we're talking about Kalista versus Xayah, which is 2-item versus 3-item power spike. We'll take that Infinity Edge for Sungyun to really come online when Ghost just needs to turn that Zeal into a Hurricane. He's a fighting force.
The mid lane turret would be something as, oh, the Raptors do spawn and stop Mighty Bear from making an engage. That happened to Marin in the spring season.
Yeah,
was
and
pretty
team
colossal.
fight. Didn't happen just there, though, and he party cast about it, so obviously he was having a great time. Sungyun looking to secure this Crimson Brambleback. We'll pick that one up quite easily. Banshee's Veil done for Tempt.
Shy gets bladed, so we'll take a lot of free damage. Notably, Crazy will run out of easy objectives to take, and winning in the late game with Jace not a trivial thing, even if Longzhu have been able to do it a couple of times.
I feel like Khan is a little bit of a special case when it comes to that pick.
Even then, suffered his first loss trying to play late game Jace earlier this week.
Yeah. Up against pretty difficult competition in the likes of Smeb.
Trade of flashes between Totoro and Crow, but the trade will not to extend to turrets. Should be a lot of turret damage here, but not quite the claim onto ROX bot lane outer.
In fact, both of these outer turrets that are still up have taken a lot of damage. The Tigers have done a decent job in stabilizing. Still 2,000 gold, and they will, against the flow of the game, take down this outer turret in the mid lane. Get things far closer to even.
So Unsteady was a mantra in game 1, and hasn't quite been the same story in game 2, but they're still going to be pretty comfortable, only being 1,300 gold behind. You already mentioned that soon there will be 2-item power spikes they'll have to respect, but otherwise, keep extending the game and put faith in Sungyun is probably what ROX Tigers want to do.
Cloud Drake looking to be started here. Of course, BBQ probably want a better one to start a fight with. There's the the stun onto Crazy, but looks like he can even ignore turrets just a little bit with the added health that he has with a few of his items and some armor on the Ninja Tabi.
What Shy wants to do could just rush back into lane or try to make a teleport play. He's going to go for the teleport.
Yeah, he's completely in no man's land. Not an opportunity to do anything as Crow had moved himself over, but maybe a little bit too late. Shy has to cancel that teleport. So ROX Tigers going to give up trying to get this Cloud Drake.
No man's land, like you say, was where Key ended up, and teleport was not going to be fast enough to be able to make anything happen from that particular scenario. Does trade teleport, so I guess that's something to speak about for the side of the ROX Tigers, but Crazy backs off. He'll take the blue buff, or at least leash it for the Talia. And another objective added to BBQ.
Yeah. All too easy. Solo gold here as far as local gold for Ghost as well, so a fat 350 to go into his back pocket. See whether that does mean the Renan's Hurricane is able to be done when he does finally get home. Might create some space for Shy. As we're going to do the detection of the turrets thing. That mid lane outer turret is very, very low. Has been for a while. The Hurricane is done. Ghost even gets a luxury dagger.
So how does ROX understand this situation? Taking this top turret's going to be difficult. Going to take a long time even for a Corki. Taking a fight also going to be difficult. Losing the minimum round Baron is something that many teams have struggled with. That's what ROX Tigers are trying to do, while Xayah tries to pile on CS in the mid lane.
He's doing the best Sungyun can do to hoover up as many minions and get himself to a relevant stage. Does have his rapid fire cannon, so his first 2 items are done. Extra cooldown reduction most certainly online for his Essence Reaver. That Infinity Edge, he wants it so bad.
Doesn't need to prioritize something like a Lord Dominic's Regard. That's been pretty common on Xayah's this week because it is a much lower tankiness comp from BBQ.
I feel like when you see the Lord Dominic's Regard or the Mortal Reminder as 3rd item, it's like that's the sad Xayah purchase.
I mean, this week it's been the staple Xayah purchase because of The super tank's coming out. It's been 4th item. Infinity Edge.
Oh, there's the turn. Crow doing a fair bit of damage, but it is going to be the opted into fight as Crazy chooses his way out in the end. Wall comes in. Tempt can't actually get over his own wall. And there's the flash body slam. Nice play by Mighty Bear. He seems to have every different style of play, but that one was executed really nicely. Inner turret does fall on the top side though, so BBQ still getting advantages despite losing their top lane.
Yeah, we knew that ROX just couldn't leave lanes like top lane, for example, because there was the power push of Crazy to talk about. Crazy wasn't involved that time, but he had done the work earlier. And speaking of work earlier, BBQ have great vision around the top side. They've already taken a lot of health off the mid lane outer turret as well. BBQ playing around Baron. Baron secure from the Kalista. It was like Baron buff to BBQ might actually be the beginning of the end for what has been so far a pretty stalwart ROX defense.
Okay, not actually going to be able to find anything onto him were BBQ. Sangyun doing his best to try and clear things up. And if we look back to the BBQ versus KT series, it was certainly Baron control that they had all of the power with, and Mighty Bear being destroyed could be an opportunity for them to get in there. Gragas not lasting very long after that face check.
It shouldn't have been alone. Doesn't have any pressure, didn't have any backup. Braum was much lower on the map. And speaking of Braum,
yeah, he's just going to die. Totoro grabs that kill all too easy.
The golf claps come out from the crowd.
Yeah.
This will be the Baron start. They do now have exclusive vision as the control wards come down, and I think ROX just have to give this one up.
Yep, they know that they've got no smite, they've got no utility in that support player as well, so 3 versus 5 ain't a great choice. Crazy with the teleport available as well, so... Alright, BBQ Olivers looking pretty primed to bring us to a game number 3 in this series.
From there we'll wonder what the lineup will be from ROX Tigers. They won game 1, decide to use game 2 to blood their substitutes, specifically Crow, giving him his first game, and he's been decent. The game has not really been played of his own volition.
True, and look, gold lead isn't gigantic. BBQ Olivers need to actually utilize this Baron to get themselves a broken base, or at least clear out all of these inner turrets and get a gold lead that is insurmountable. A lot of late game damage available by the ROX Tigers, so if they do get to a point where, you know, everyone has 6 items and it's 55 minutes in and it's a super slugfest, does still feel like the ROX Tigers have answers.
When it's 8 versus 9th, that is certainly possible. BBQ are going to want this to be a lot more clean. This is the game they have to win to force themselves being relegated on this day to the relegation tournament. They'll have to beat SKT as well, though, so already and only an outside chance. Here's Shy.
Yep, Shy actually launches his way forward, but that's the CC. They're actually looking to take down the Crocodile early as Key wants to get himself amongst it. They knock up Ghost, but Fate's Call is there. Brilliant cast comes out as Mighty Bear gets a great body slam as well, but Ghost, he's still alive in the backline. Crow trying to escape him. Bless is the one that eventually takes him down. That fight was so close, and honestly, I'm surprised no BBQ members died.
I mean, Sangyun wasn't able to DPS anyone other than Talia, who wasn't able to kill him, but was able to occupy the time. It probably relieved a lot of pressure from everyone else, and it's Jace, Jarvan, and Talia with a Baron buff. It's going to be the base broken, for sure.
Yeah, it's a heck of a lot of damage. Can't believe the Ghost didn't fall down there, so all too easy. Inhibitor is going to be secured. Tigers unable to get back in time. Feels like it shouldn't be too much more than this unless the inner turret is going to get moved towards here by BBQ, and without Crow, it looks like it will be an option. But wanting to actually play it very respectfully against the ROX Tigers. Ghost not sticking around, and an Infernal Drake is certainly an attractive choice.
With the comp especially. So powerful, able to turn onto it. ROX haven't really visited this area around the Drake for a long time, so no worries about vision or anything from the ROX Tigers. Had a ward, but weren't going to be able to do anything with it.
Double Infernal, as well as that Cloud. As Australians, we should feel pretty upset about that, Papa Smithy, because that just looks like bushfire waiting to happen.
It's true. A very solemn topic. So we get to see the replay. Ghost was hopping mad at the start. Sangyun has items but can't get into the fight, but when they turn onto Ghost, when he's bounced onto, takes 2 turret shots, a third heals to cancel a tower shot that would have meant his death and got out. To me, the big winner was Taliyah occupying the time of Songyun off frame for the entire fight. If she was free hitting on the front line, getting AoE damage through the feathers, through the members of BBQ, it could have been a different fight.
Yeah. Songyun is set up to do a lot of AoE damage as well. Doesn't quite have enough for his Infinity Edge. Crow looking for his as well. The hyper spiking Corki, not quite at the third spike of his build. Songyun desperate to grab that one. Baron buff still there for a little while longer as there's Tempt going on his wall ride. And he actually caught on the wrong side of it. Decent damage coming in. That was a bouncy castle if ever I've seen one. And Ghost locks down another kill. 3-1 and 3 for the Kalista. Totoro pressing himself forward. BBQ Oliver's just looks so comfortable with this composition. Second inhibitor going to be taken down. Shy, his health bar feels like a thing of the past and feels like it's constantly been at about half throughout this entire game. Wanting to go for ultra split push or ultra wave clear damage is Shy with that Tiamat purchased after Aranduin's Omen.
Need Aranduins to even stay in a fight, but the Tiamat, Titanic Hydra to match the wave clear later. Probably not going to be relevant, Atlas. In a longer game, maybe we'll be able to at least clear waves in the face of the Jace, but not in this particular game. Now looking for the dive.
Yeah, there's the dive. Immediate pop goes Crow as Songyun, he's in trouble. The double kill comes in for Tempt. Can he find more as Key's going to be taken down? It's going to be Ghost picking up that kill as Mighty Bear finds himself on the wrong side of this battle. Double kill comes in. Could we get a full house or will it just be a two pair? As BBQ Olivers just want to finish off this game. Super Creep's heading forward. First Nexus turret going to be taken down. 30 minutes into the game, much quicker than game number 1. BBQ will take down the ROX Tigers and bring us to a game number 3. They want to stay relevant. They want to give themselves an opportunity to potentially get out of this relegation tournament. Does mean that they have to beat SKT, but it keeps fate in their hands.
And BBQ may be the 9th place team, but when the 8th place team makes 3 substitutes, including Blooding, a rookie for his first game, BBQ would have thought they had a great chance to pick up this game. They do very comfortably, largely playing around the Jace's power in lane. Mighty Bear and co made some nice moves in the earlier parts of the game, where it looks like ROX Tigers, even with the wholesale change, might be able to build around Songyun. The moment the laning phases were ended, ROX Tigers ran out of good ideas. They didn't have the great synergy. It was the hallmark of them in game 1 where they controlled the pace so cleanly and ended up coming well short of a well-oiled machine of BBQ.
Yep, it was a little bit unfortunate. However, I did like that the pace was increased in this particular game. Crazy having a good performance on the Jace as well. Kalista pretty silly, but Totoro, a standout performer in these late game fights, able to lock down all of the priority targets, and it felt like he was the ringleader, telling everyone exactly where to go.
Mighty Bear out of position, need your front line in position there. Threw out a cask, left.